like that there is a stereotype with Massachusetts. I'll tell you my Massachusetts story here in a minute. What's up, DBF? It's early for you, buddy. Early for you. Miss H got you up? All right, so I'll tell you my Massachusetts story. When I was 23, fresh out of college, first job, living and working in Washington, D.C. This is not terrible matchmaking. Egg, Leminikazi, Port Visky, lots of things, and some... Okay, well, okay. All right, so, fresh out of college, wet behind the ears, haven't even been on the job for a year. And about 3 weeks, let's say, after 9/11. Remember, I work in D.C., so that's a very interesting time to live in the nation's capital. My boss comes into my office one day, and he says, so, tomorrow you're going to Boston for 2 weeks. What? The naval program that I was working on, we were building, the technical term for what we were building at the time was LMSRs, okay? The acronym is Large Medium Speed Roll-On Roll-Off Vessels, ROROs. After Desert Storm, the Army figured out they no longer had the sea lift capacity to move large quantities of military vehicles in a hurry. A lot of the... I'm over 40, psycho. Just over 40. I turned 42 earlier last month. The... most of the military hardware that went to the Middle East during Desert Storm went on commercial vessels, not military ones. 5.5 detection. My God, that's trolly at this tier. And the Army was not a huge fan of this. So, backed by General Norman Schwarzkopf, they went to Congress, they got a bunch of money, and they started building their own, basically military-owned, civilian-operated vehicles for this purpose. Okay. So fast forward to the early 2000s, and this is now what I'm working on as I come out of college. I'm working on this program. Wow, their destroyers are like super ballsy. Anyways, every single ship... I think this guy outguns me. This could be bad for me. Yeah, this is bad for me. Let's see what he does. I'll actually have 5 guns on this ship. I'm not used to that. Every single ship in this class, when it comes out of dry dock, or when it comes out of... Navy ships go through a process. No, I wasn't in the Navy. I built ships for the Navy. Every ship, when it's constructed, goes through a process, okay? And that process includes... Wrecked. Oh, you dodged it, you little... Alright, you. Fine. I need other people to shoot at you, though.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
It's Death! Thank you for the follow. So every ship, when it's built, goes through a process, okay, that involves builder's trials and acceptance trials and all the rest of this garbage. Once you get to building into class of ships, however, it is cheaper to build a ship with flaws. Like, you know there's things wrong with it that need fixing, let's say. It's cheaper to finish building that ship with all the mistakes and fix it later than it is to try and fix them up during... go back and fix it during construction. So we're on about the 6th ship of the class by the time I get there, let's say. All right, I'm going to be able to spot this guy momentarily. Let's get moving. I don't want to die out here. There he is. What is up, my dude? One more salvo, and I should finally be able to get you off the board. There we go. Thank you. Time to leave. And we'll come back in a minute when I'm not spotted. All right, so... giving you all a background now. So what happens is a ship goes through acceptance trials, and then what happens is when it's finished, it comes out of... it's delivered to the Navy, and the Navy will immediately take possession of it and send it right back to dry dock for what they call a post-shakedown availability period, where basically... there's a laundry list of things that have to be fixed to the ship before it can go on to active duty, more or less. Okay, so that's the background. So in August of 2001, we had a ship delivering. This was I'm going to get it wrong. It wasn't Pomeroy. I can't remember which one it was. I'd have to go back and look. It's on my resume still. Anyway, ship was delivering. They were built in San Diego. And at the time, her post-shakedown availability was going to be in Singapore. They had the docks, the yard space booked and everything because most of those ships were forward deployed at Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean. So they were delivered, and they would immediately like go do their little dry docking period, and they would go sit and go do their thing. Steph, thank you. I am well. Thank you very much. What's the range on these torpedoes? 9 kilometers. 9 kilometers? On a tier 5 ship? Fellas, now I know why they're nerfing the hell out of this thing. Okay, so that was August of 2001. Of course, now 9/11 happens. So now what happens? Well, what happens now is that immediately the idea of dry docking this ship in Singapore is scrapped. Okay, so now they decide they have to dock it. Now we have to dry dock this ship for its post-shakedown somewhere within the continental United States. So they chose Boston. There are some nice dry docks, actually, in Boston, surprisingly, that'll hold this ship. It's 1,000 feet long, so you need a pretty good-sized dry dock here. And, crap. Bastard can spot me. But he's going to eat a little bit of crap. I need some help, Devonshire. There you... Okay. Oh, the Koenig is shooting at me. Don't shoot at me, Koenig. You jerk. Oh, the Devonshire is my bloody hero. Oh, get my guns around. Get my guns around. Get my guns around. Slow guns. Okay. Whoo. All right, let's finally go back and finish capping. I accidentally landed all of those... What the hell? Okay. That was weird. All right, so... Boss comes in and says, congratulations, you're going to Boston, because they had to rewrite this entire ship's post-shakedown availability thing, like, on a moment's notice. So, I'm going to Boston literally the next day. My wife, he's like, take the rest of the day, go home, you know, get packed, get ready, you know, whatever you got to do. Great, no problem. This is like 10:30 in the morning. So I go down, I get on the train, I go home. And I've grown up now. Even remember, I'm 23. This is the farthest north. I'm living in Washington D.C. I've never lived anywhere else outside of the South, other than where I live in D.C. I've never been to New England. And your whole life as a Southerner, you're raised with this weird mentality. Like, you're told Yankees are just mean and rude, and they're not nice people, and blah 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 blah, and all these horrible things you're told. Like, oh, they're just rude and obnoxious, and they don't like people. And okay, so I'm actually a little nervous about this trip. Like, I'm going to like hostile territory all by myself, right? It's kind of what it feels like. I'm gonna miss this Normandy hardcore. And we win anyway. So, I called my dad. My dad, born in Texas, went to high school in New Mexico, so kind of a Southerner, right? But did graduate school at the University of Rhode Island. Lived up there for 2 or 3 years, going to grad school in the mid-'70s. And so I called Dad. I'm not panicked or anything, but I called Dad. I'm like, hey, I'm going to Massachusetts. Like, what is this? What is this scoring? This is weird. No, we're going to play through all these destroyers first, Ewok. Then we'll get on to Fletcher. It's weird. Give this guy a compliment, though.